kind of a dumb question maybe, but Arcadis says put that clear water tank here. You say move. Why did they, do you have any idea why they would put it out there? Is there a good reason why? You know, I'm trying to pull out your ideas. Why move it? Just because I tell you what, you got a lot of good ideas in here, like you got to replace a tank in 15 years, you can't get it out of the building. You know, that's pretty sharp, I think. Is there some reason why they would need to put it out the distance they did, or?
I don't know if you know the location. I think one thing about the size is that I think looking at an ultimately bigger treatment plant or design capacity, they were looking for storage. Because you want storage either in your clear well or in your system to handle 1 day typically of design capacity. So that, when we looked at the report, they did count that towards storage in your system. That would probably account for the size of the tank. The location, we're not exactly sure why.
Okay, come on, I'm an auto mechanic and I don't put something way over there and have to put a lot of pipe to it. That's what I don't understand.
If I had to guess, they set it over in a low area to avoid excavation.
Okay, I'd go with that.
But wound up with several hundred feet of large diameter piping in exchange. That would be my guess.
I need to step out for a minute. I got a phone call from mom. We had mom in and out of the hospital, so I'll get this. Excuse me. 89 years old, we better answer the phone, right?
Well, whatever we're gonna do, I wanna get it done pretty soon. If we wanna have a study session of council, have a special meeting to study and decide this, I wanna get the ball starting to roll one way or the other, instead of just saying, yeah, well, next meeting we'll think about this again. We need to get started. I think.
I'd like to see some prints. I have no idea what this building's going to look like.
What's up?
Okay, I don't know I haven't seen any elevations, okay, or, you know, some 3D pics.
Do you have any of that?
We don't have any 3D, but they just brought back drawings that we gave them for the initial plans, and I have those in my office, and you're welcome to come and look at it at any point. Matt knows the plant inside and out. That'll be valuable. So, you know,
I just think we need to get moving.
Yeah. But I think, you know, generally, you know, to take a step back, you know, if you could wave a magic wand, it would be done. I think Matt would be very happy with a 1.5 million gallon a day plant. And, you know, definitely, we'd like to consider the well fields. If, you know, the drilling of the well, there's 2 wells to be included, but the one well's only, you know, if you just knock off one well, it's like $50,000. The cost is, the major cost is the piping to run it from the well sites. But, you know, I think the reliability and to have that water there would be a...
Is the Hearst well ever been looked at yet? The Hearst well,
Which one's the first
isn't
one?
there one on the Melbourne Hearst that was drilled?
On Lower Upton?
Yeah,
No, it's not hooked up. That's the one we're talking about. We bought that property, and we have a well drilled there. You know, we test pumped it, and, you know, took samples to have analyzed at the lab.
can it just be hooked into the one-settler pipe?
And that was the plan. To run an 8-inch line from there to the lawn cellars. But Arcadis said that we needed to upsize that line from the lawn cellar to the plant.
Well, I understand that, but if one of the one-settler wells went down and the Hearst well was hooked into there, you could,
Oh yeah, you could run them together.
you know,
Yeah,
so that would solve part of the problem, would it not, if that was
Yes.
hooked up?
yes.
We already have that well.
Yes, we do. And the other one's pretty close to that one, right?
Yeah, and you know, once you get that, put that well in and get it piped in, then you could come back, because it's not gonna cost you as much, you know, later, and drill that second well on that property if you need it.
Another question, the Whitmer well though, is the new one, half million gallon plant won't work that well, will it?
What's that?
The well on Whitmer property,
Yeah.
will you be able to use that with the new
No,
plant?
I don't know. The
don't-
quality is really bad there.
They don't know that
You know, I
either.
was hoping with the larger aerator, we had some provisions to feed like sodium permanganate there into the raw transmission line, if that would help it. But, I'm not gonna give you a guarantee there.
I understand. So that's pretty low.
It'd be nice because it's a really good producer, but the quality is terrible.
Okay. How do we get off center, guys? And you're,
Special meeting next week.
I don't know, this has been real quiet.
Well, basically good listeners, okay, there are good questions in them. 6 months, it's already been 8, 9 years.
10 years.
And I'm not afraid to sacrifice 6 months, first of all, I want to see this guy happy, this guy's gonna keep us with the drinking water, all right? And, but, yeah, you're right. Let's get moving on it. If we have to have a special meeting, let's do it.
Well, I'm okay with going ahead with the redesign, if Matt and Lance say so. I'd say,
I don't think we need a meeting.
Yeah, I'd be very happy to say, you guys go ahead with what you've got and figure out how to get it done.
with an approximate price of what you come up with, like 13?
I think what you'll need to look at is from that
It's
letter,
hopefully it's planned, yeah.
whether it's worth working with Arcata.
Yeah, that would be the wild card there.
That, I mean, that has to be known before you can truly move.
And that was a $1 million, engineering,
Mhm.
from the ground up, or do you, try to,
You can leverage some of what was in that.
and the next step I could do, tomorrow morning I get on the phone with USDA and show them this report, because we don't want to go through all this for them to say, well, you haven't looked at this or this. But I really think this will suffice, and, it speaks directly to their letter that actually they saw, so.
Yeah, get my math straight in my head. If we want to go ahead with the redesign, 13 million, we still have 800,000 engineering on top of that for Arcadis.
That's already been done.
Yeah.
It is paid,
It's paid, we've already,
paid for that.
correct, yeah. So it's,
It's not an add-on on top of the 13.
right, it's a decision whether to, pull the plug on that total project or try to hold their feet to the fire to redesign the 1.5 million that they're telling us.
Seems like engineers make a lot of money.
Can we hold their feet to the fire? Are they gonna say we want more money?
Well, that letter kind
Well, the USDA did say that these changes, these engineering changes, whatever we come up with this PDR and the resizing would be on Arcadis's dime, if you will. Now, I'm not sure if their legal staff will agree, but,
That's my question.
but we definitely have USDA on our side on that. Because it,
But they are going to redesign it down to $1.5 million.
of, per that letter, they were told.
Yeah,
Do you think they are supposed to?
yes, yeah. And if you give me a second, I can find it and read it, but
I remember
it is in here.
Yeah,
At no cost to the city.
Correct.
It said it was their fault for telling us one thing and being so far off, and that they were gonna go back to the value engineering and resize it on their dime.
The question that comes to my mind is, if I were Arcadis, I did that.
And did that
Now
guy,
you're changing the ball game again.
But the letter said
I'm
to
gonna
do,
charge you.
to do this. It says to value engineer scale it back down because they were so far off in their projections. And as you can see, they were. I mean, they're selling us something 3 times bigger than.
The approved engineering agreement requires the project engineer to provide this service at no cost to the city. A formal value engineer may be required after reviewing the revised PDR, which this is pretty much a formal value engineer to, you know, try to reach all the bullet points of this letter to address it.
Well, if I'm Arcadis and I gotta do it on my nickel, you're not gonna get much out of me. I'm telling you that right now.
That's
It's my nickel.
That's what I
That's
think.
absolutely true, and that's what
Yeah.
happened with what they did.
And that's exactly what they did, yes.
Yeah.
And we take a lawsuit of a long time when the day
They'll throw the anchor out.
I don't think this discussion is productive. I would just
stick with the other.
Yeah,
Okay.
I wouldn't be speculating what Arcadis might or might not do. I don't think that's so.
It's not appropriate right now.
No,
Okay.
My thoughts are, start giving people a jingle, find out where we're at. But, you know, I am impressed reading through this. You've done a great job.
Okay, but what I wanna get is what's our next step? Give people a jingle. Are we gonna go ahead, or are we gonna
Let's-
think about it for a while?
Well, here's my suggestion. Lance gets on the phone with the Department of Agriculture. What do you folks think? He gets on the, has Arcadis seen this letter?
No, this is just.
Okay,
fresh
get
off
that
the-
to Arcadis and say, this is suggestions we've got from somewhere else, so they'll know, be an end, okay? And what do you think? What can we do? Where can we go? Because we're getting ready to hold a special meeting, decide what to do here, get back to us. And I suggest if we meet next week, we meet next week.
Okay,
That's my suggestion, right?
let's take Dick's suggestion.
I agree.
And in the meantime, everybody can come in and if you want to look at currently what we have.
You guys won't get invited to Arcadis Thanksgiving dinner.
You can go to my place. That's all I got.
Any other comment?
Do you need a motion to that, or you just want to run with it?
I don't think we need a motion right now. We gotta get this information.
Yeah, I just put it, leave it in Lance's hands.
I'm impressed with your report. Don't let us down.
Is there anyone else desiring to appear this evening?
By the way, Mom's okay.
Okay, good.
You would need to set a date and time for the special meeting.
Well, if we have to, then we can call one with 24 hours notice, right?
So we're not gonna lock one in?
I don't think we need to yet.
Okay.
Yeah, we don't have any idea where Lance is going.
Let's go to the manager's report.
If we could get that, north end water improvement project at OPWC on time. Still working on the leaves in the city. We still have bags at the city. The next pickup for the bags, November 17th, and then following is December 15th. And there's a lot of bags left, so you're welcome to come back for some more. We're working with, still working with Reichert's on the enterprise zone agreement, and we did send that off to the school board, and then hopefully that'll get back to us on December 2nd, I believe. And then hopefully the commissioners, may be able to meet on the 3rd about it. For our water department, they fixed the water break and finished the chlorine rebuild. Park and Cemetery finished Christmas lights on pavilion number 4 and started to blow leaves. And I've got Terry here tonight. He wants to report on the goose problem and how it's working so far.
Guess I'm here to talk about the hot topic. Geese. We started on October 23rd at 1 in the afternoon with the first time we used the bangers and the screamers. And it worked. Lance was there, and it worked pretty good. We've done it every day that needed to since then, weekends included. We've talked to some of the neighbors. They do come back sometimes in the evening when we're not at work. But then we talked to people yesterday and today, and they have not been coming back at night. Sometimes we do it once or twice a day. So, like yesterday, we had 24 geese show up. We did them twice, and they were gone. And there was maybe 2 today, but some days we have none. So I think for the most part, it's pretty much working. And the initial investment of maybe $300 to make this happen too. So we're still on top of it every day, we're not backing down, and Chief, have we had any complaints?
No, sir. The only complaint I have is I got probably 20 calls calling me the geese police. I don't appreciate it.
Well, now we are the goose guys at the park.
Are there any ducks in the pond that stay?
There are still ducks.
They don't
yes.
leave.
Well, they leave, but they, we let them come back.
They do come back, the ducks do.
Yeah, they
Check
do.
their IDs and let them back.
Yes, I can say.
I get a duck permit.
Terry, do you think that they're just taking off for the season, or?
No, they're usually here till, much longer, but at least through football. But we've noticed, and we've had people that walk through every day notice that the park is cleaner now because of it. So that's an improvement in itself.
Yeah, and I don't know how many are at the water plant every night, but there's plenty there. So I don't know if it's the same flock. I hear them every night, so, and every morning taking off.
But it's funny, we don't do it till 8 o'clock in the morning just to let the neighbors wake up. And one morning we were out there, and I swear they have a bylaw, it was like 7:59 they took off. So, but.
We'll take that, right?
Yes.
And with the change in time, it probably helped you because you're there till 3:30.
Right, and so, like I said, we've talked to a few of the neighbors have come up to us and told us when they've seen us out putting up the Christmas lights now that, they have or have not been coming back, so. For the most part, I think we have it under control, hopefully. Okay, thank you.
The street department, they took some loads of tires to recycling, and they started picking up the leaves in the bags and the vacuum, and completed brine station, so we're ready for that experiment to add brine solution to the salt to make it more effective. Electric department, they started preliminary work for some cameras at substations and performed maintenance on a substation. And then I'm going to turn it over to the chief because he's got some nice, good things to report, and I don't want to miss that.
Just a couple brief things. One that we're very proud of, one of our police explorers, which is, of course, a youth group that's been with us for a number of years, we have one of the oldest charters in the state. Mary Kloss joined the post in November of 2011. She's been a very active member. She served 2 terms as chief of the post, which is essentially the CEO of that Explorer post. She's got countless hours of dedicated time to our city and various events, and the Rotary Club saw fit to recognize youth for awards, and she got a Rotary Service Award. She's at a dinner tonight receiving that award, and we're very proud of her accomplishments and the time she's dedicated to this and all the work that she's done for us. She's a great kid, an outstanding explorer, and I think she's got a really bright future. And we really appreciate the award the Rotary Club gave to her, and I think it brings honor to the Explorer post and to our police department, our city, and to show the quality of people we have involved with our safety services and interested in that. The second thing is just a reminder to everyone, we're trying, I was talking to Brian earlier and get some ideas. Other people have approached me with the way to publicize the fraud and scam seminar that we're putting on November 11th from 7 p.m. to 8 p.m. at the Dutch Village Inn Banquet Center. This is going to focus on the internet, phone, and in-person scams. We seem to have an epidemic of this activity right now in this area. A new one today even from the Agency on Aging, where people are impersonating home health care workers. So you need to really know what you're looking for, how these scams work, how people pick their targets and narrow down the target pool, and what you can do potentially to prevent yourself from becoming a victim. So we're going to focus on all the scams that are active right now in the area, some of the old standbys that come back a couple times a year, and focus on ways to help people do that. We're looking for ways to reach as many folks as possible. We're aware that our senior citizens sometimes don't follow Facebook or social media, so we're looking for other ways to publicize it. We're going to approach the Ministerial Alliance and have it mentioned at Sunday services. I think that's a good way. We're going to post some flyers at various places in the city, like Jamestown Trace and out at Arrowhead, places where there are public bulletin boards for the residents, and try to gather as many people into that as we can, because the more knowledge you have, the more you're able to resist these scams. These people are exceptionally convincing. And unless you're really, really paying attention, I mean, I've gotten emails and different things myself that I've had to look twice at and I do this for a living, so an average person, it's so easy to fall prey to this, and we've had some people actually lose money to this, and we want to prevent that, keep them out of our pockets. Almost all these are based overseas in places that don't recognize American legal process like warrants, search warrants, subpoenas, things like that. So they're just very hard to, if you can find them, they're almost impossible to prosecute. So once the money's gone, it's very unlikely we're going to prosecute or get that money back. So we're inviting people to come to that. So those two things are what I want to mention. Thanks for the time.
That's all I have, Brian.
While we're on the subject of policing, I want to make one comment. I was going to do it during council comments, but I'll just do it now since we're on the subject. About a month ago, started with a pretty robust campaign to try to clean up the streets in the evening from 2 a.m. till 5:30 a.m. There's a city ordinance in regards to not parking on the streets, and it's been on the books since, I think, since the early 70s.
71.
My first night we lived in town in 1956.
There we go, it's older
You
yet.
got a ticket for parking on the street. Well,
They did that with
Columbiana, here's your parking ticket.
They did that with buggies. So, we, obviously, people aren't too happy whenever they receive one of these tickets, and they've been complaining quite a bit. But I'd like to maybe ask Katie, we can get the word out that, especially going into the fall and winter, we need to have the streets cleaned off in the evening, and so just want to get the word out that that is definitely on the books and is being enforced. And I'd like people to consider that their notice. So I just wanted to bring that to everyone's attention, because we get a lot of complaints. I didn't know there was any parking ordinance in the city. It's there.
Hey, can I ask Lance a question?
Sure.
Do you think you might consider causing everyone to use bags for leaves rather than piling them alongside the street at some time?
I'll vote against that.
Well, I watched my neighbor,
Yeah.
okay, on one side of his lot, he put about 8 or 10 bags of leaves, and the other side of his lot, on the street, he piled them up. Okay, well, the ones that were piled up are still laying there, and his bags are gone, and he's out there the other day scratching his head and wondered, what's going on. Evidently, it must be easier for the street crew to gather up.
I watched him do it in front of our house. It was amazing how quickly 2 people basically picked up 20 bags of leaves. And they just used the front loader with the thing to scoop them up, to put them in the back of the truck, tamped them down a little bit, and they were gone. When they do it with the vacuum truck, they use maybe 5 or 6 people to rake them and do all sorts of stuff to get them into where they can use it.
3 at the most.
Is it 3 at the most? I've seen them with more of a bigger crew than that occasionally, especially when the leaves are really wet. I don't know that I would say get rid of the equipment we have, but if our vacuum trucks break down and become expensive to repair, I'm not so sure we couldn't save money by buying bags and giving them to people and just using a crew of 2 people to do the pickup. Something we ought to look at least.
And I'd also
I
like to-
agree we could save money, but you know how much work it is for people to have enormous amounts of leaves to put them in bags. You're saving labor on our end, which we're providing a service. The person that's putting it in the bags, one person can't do it. It takes 2 people, like you say, 2 or 3, to put them in the bags. Sometimes people are willing to pay for a service stick, and that's a service that we've always provided, and I understand. We're willing to provide for police, fire, range pickup, leaf pickup. It's something that costs us, but I'm still not willing to give up the leaf pickup.
I didn't think this would happen this fast, but I'm here to speak on behalf of senior citizens. Some of us are pretty ancient, and our backs aren't what they were when we were 18. And bending over to pick up leaves, to put them in a little small bag like this, is quite a chore. And it's unfortunate too that the senior citizens live in the older parts of Columbiana where the most trees are. So I'd ask that you consider that.
You 2 agree on something.
That's funny.
There's something wrong here.
But the original question, not to this point, I mean, I haven't got any reports, full reports that I can adjust.
Basically, that's what I was wondering, what are people saying?
And we've taken, we'll gather all the data and give it to you at the very end and show you.
When did you get it done with them this last year, February?
Well, last year was a different kind of year. We're lucky to have them down. We've had this week to, be sucking them up and picking them up, so it's been nice. It didn't go from leaves on the trees to snowing, and that's, last year was a really bad year to compare it to. This year we've been lucky.
Working some people out of the park to help too, I understand.
Yes, yeah,
Which
we've got,
you did not have that last year.
yeah, correct. We hope to have 2 full crews on, I believe next week, with parking and street crew.
I heard it late today too, it's after 3:30.
Yes.
So,
Yeah, we're working hard on it.
So moving on to the bill list, you guys have any comments, questions on that? Moving to old business, due to the length of the ordinances, can I have a motion to read by title only?
So second.
Deanne?
Becker?
Yes.
Souter?
Yes.
McBain?
Yes.
Schwank?
Yes.
Callender? Yes. Simpson?
Yes.
Ordinance number 14-0-2783, second reading. An ordinance amending section 1062.07B of the codified ordinances of Columbiana, Ohio regarding rental rates in the recreation park and repealing all other ordinances in conflict herewith.
So moved.
Second.
Any comment? Deanne?
Souter?
yes.
McBain?
Yes.
Schwank?
Yes.
Callender?
Yes.
Simpson?
Yes.
Becker?
Yes.
Ordinance number 14-0-2784, second reading. An ordinance amending sections 1062.05 and 1062.99 of chapter 1062, Parks of the Codified Ordinances of Columbiana, Ohio.
So moved.
Second.
Any comments? Deanne?
McBain?
Yes.
Schwank?
Yes.
Callender?
Yes.
Simpson?
Yes.
Becker?
Yes.
Souter?
Yes.
Next up, I need a motion to go to executive session for the discussion of collective bargaining.
So moved.
Second.
Roll call?
Schwank?
Yes.
Callender?
Yes.
Simpson?
Yes.
Becker?
Yes.
Souter?
Yes.
McBain?
Yes.
There will likely be action.
I'm sure they give us a boring reading this time.
You won't be in like that.
Depends on how late it
Guess we get one of them.
Good job.
Right, we can do it. No, I appreciate it.
Keep up the good work. How you doing, dude?
Yeah, no.